let's just pretend that I know where the K is for that. I don't know. It disappeared and I don't know where it is. I'm sure it's somewhere around here somewhere. Nerds, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie if you're new here. I hope your day is going well. And today we're going to do a video that I have been working on for a decent amount of time, and it is going to be tier ranking all of the Goodreads Choice Awards nominees for fantasy. Now, let's bear in mind, I didn't read all of these nominees, but I read a lot of them, especially of the top 10. But I wanted to do a video where I talked about pretty much everything, like everything on this list, all 20 like nominees. And I wanted to do it fast. So we're doing a tier ranking list. I wanted to like do individual reviews for every single one of these books or like vlog style it, but that's too much work for me. So we're gonna just do a tier ranking list and we're gonna do this real quick. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. All right, so first off, we have Jim Butcher. Anything by Jim Butcher I haven't read. I don't know if this is the one that made the top 10 or the one that got like 1,000 votes or something. I don't know. I'm not even sure if there was a top 10 Jim Butcher, but there's 2 on the entire list. So obviously he's definitely a fan, or fans definitely like doing the whole writing him in situation. The City We Became is God tier. If you haven't heard of this book by N.K. Jemisin, I don't know what the fuck you've been doing for the past however long, and you need to get your shit together. This is basically a psychological fantasy revolving around the boroughs of New York City manifesting themselves into human bodies to defeat an interdimensional like monster that takes the shape of a Karen, like a white lady Karen. It is so fucking amazing. It was my vote if you couldn't tell. Trisha Briggs, this is like number 12 in the series and I have no interest in it. Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City or whatever, House of whatever. This was, let's be real, doesn't deserve rights. I made a rant review about this early on in this year. It won Goodreads Choice, but the reason why it won the Goodreads Choice Awards is because like 95,000 people voted for it. It's not like out of the realm of imagination that Sarah J. Maas would be the most popular author on this list. It's just kind of upsetting that her book that I don't even think is one of her better works is the one that fucking won. Like, ugh. House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune is God tier. It's so good, guys. This is about a caseworker that lives in a very dystopian world, and he takes care of these children in these homes that have special powers. He gets this mysterious case put on his desk, and he goes to this home where he meets the literal Antichrist and other really adorable creatures, and it's gay. So God tier all the fucking way. And then we've got Sanderson. Haven't read it, won't read it. You can watch the last video that I talk about Brando Sando and why I don't read his books. Another Jim Butcher, we already know. Empress of Salt and Fortune, I can't remember the author's name on this. It was okay. It was about a 3-star for me. It's a very, very short novella following this non-binary character as she talks to this old woman about what happened between her and an empress. It is also gay. But honestly, I just remember that there was a talking parrot and the parrot was kind of the star of the show. And we have Piranesi. I just finished this recently. I would definitely say it's close to God tier, like really close. It's basically feels like you're reading about a Greek god mind fucking you, not in a fun way. Like it's definitely weird, and that's why I liked it. Let's be quite frank. And then we have this one by the dude, I don't remember the name of this book or author, so I didn't read it, if you couldn't tell. Then we have Deadly Education. This caused a lot of like sensation over the course of this year. I think it was okay. Like the writing style was abrasive and it was kind of meant to be that way because Deadly Education, if you don't know, is about this girl going to a magical school where literally all of the world is like designed to kill baby magicians, and she's very much a hard character to like because she just directly tells the reader everything about the world and a huge blocks of info dumping to disguise the fact that there isn't a lot of plot in this book. And albeit I do like heavy world building and I did find some of that narration style interesting, but the fact of the matter is that the other characters were done a disservice, and a lot of this world would have been better if we had any other voice to follow if not just the main characters. And we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is a Victoria Schwab novel that I have been waiting on for like 4-ish years. It was absolutely fantastic, but it didn't blow my mind. If you don't know what this book is about, I am surprised once again. This one I honestly thought was going to win the top spot because people have been hyping it up nonstop. There has been a little bit of critique that I actually agree with. This is about a woman named Addie LaRue who sold her soul to the devil 300 years ago, and he basically says you can live forever, but no one will remember you. And it's done exceptionally well. The writing is beautiful. I literally finished it in one day, which I also did with Piranesi. The writing style of these books is very whimsical, but I definitely just didn't feel like it had that substance I was looking for, especially from Victoria Schwab. I don't know, there was just something missing. And then the Boneshard Daughter, I have not finished this yet, but I plan to. The problem with this one is this is a high fantasy that does involve bone construct magic, kind of like Gideon the Ninth, but that's like more sci-fi. But this one, I couldn't really get into the first chapter of it, so I have the audiobook and I'm probably going to read it that way. But this is the only one on this list that I was like, I might get to it, but I haven't yet, so I wouldn't prioritize it if I were you. Black Sun is God tier. Rebecca Roanhorse is a masterpiece writer. Her other series, Trail of Lightning, that's not the series name, but that's the first book, is absolutely fantastic, but Black Sun just bamboozled me with how good it is. It is a higher fantasy that has all of these very interesting and diverse cultures mashed together. It follows this one dude who's like been trained as this like creepy religious crow spirit god, and then we've got this like super sexy bisexual pirate siren lady, and then there's other religious figures, and there's non-binary characters that use Z as their pronouns. It was just fucking fantastic, and I recommend it wholeheartedly. Pearl and Stars, didn't read it, don't really like this author, don't really know if you guys want me to read that or not, I don't really care. The Burning God, the last book in the Poppy War series, which if you guys haven't fucking read the Poppy War, you should, but you should look up the trigger warnings first. But I'm gonna do Rocked My Socks mostly because I feel like the ending of any series is a little hard for me to give like blew my mind God tier, just because an ending of an arc is usually something that I'm either expecting or I'm either really disappointed by. Like it's really hard to like wow me so much by the end of a trilogy, let's say. The Once and Future Witches was by Alex E. Harrow? Yeah, Alex E. Harrow. I was actually really worried about this because I did not like The 1,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, but I actually got this book for Christmas and I read it pretty fucking quickly, and I would definitely say it rocked my socks. It wasn't God tier, but it was definitely fantastic if you're looking for a really interesting take on witches. It's set in New Salem in the 1800s, or like the first wave of feminism basically, and it does such a fantastic job of creating a very spooky fairy tale atmosphere, but also bringing in the kind of start of the Industrial Revolution. Fucking enjoyed it so much. It's about 3 sisters. They are definitely modeled off of the mother, crone, and maiden archetype, and then that's kind of like challenged, and so good, so good. If you're looking for witchy shit, I recommend it. If you like the Year of the Witching, check out the Once and Future Witches. You will not regret it. Then we've got Empire of Gold. This is the long-awaited 3rd book in the Devabad trilogy, one of my absolute favorites. You guys know this, and I will go with Rocked My Socks once again because it was pretty decent. It was very, very long. It had the emotional gripping. I cried after it, just like The Burning God. But once again, trilogies, like I don't necessarily believe I'm ever going to have a trilogy ender that's going to be like God tier for me. Like I will always think that the first book in a series, the one I'm introduced to a world, is always going to be what I find the most powerful in a series, typically speaking. Not necessarily all the time, but I cannot think of a 3rd book that is better than the first book, in my opinion. I don't know, I might be wrong. And then these two, Age of Empire and Will White, I haven't read. Those were write-ins, and I think they have like maybe 3,000 votes apiece, but I don't care about them. So this is my tier ranking for the Goodreads Choice Awards for 2020. If you guys enjoyed this video, which I really hope you do, because otherwise I read a lot of these books for like, no, I would have read them anyway. I read most of them anyway, and that's why I did this video, let's be real. But if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let me know your rankings down below. I will also, link this if you guys want to do it too. But if you guys want to see this video, I might do it again next year. Who knows? Let's see. I read fantasy all the time, so if you guys like fantasy, you should definitely subscribe. I'm gonna go now, guys. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!